Good afternoon. My name is Matthew Pardo. Today I'm going to be discussing Chapter 6, Interpersonal Communication Processes. Interpersonal communication is a process of conveying information between multiple parties in which the information will have sort of this impact on both the parties due to possibly difference in social and cultural norms. And I'm going to be diving into the different sections of this chapter. So the first chapter was principles of interpersonal communication and how this chapter discusses the degree of interpersonal communication competence, or in other words, how well an individual can communicate in personal relationships. It also dives into the importance of interpersonal communication and how it has helped us evolve as a species basically over millennia, and as well as the motivation behind communication and how it's basically designed to help us get things done, which helps us develop positive relationships in a way. And cultural communication is another topic discussed, and how different personal rituals and cultural rituals can help us communicate better with diverse audiences and diverse experiences. The next topic was conflict within communication and how real or perceived incompatible goals or opposing views can be expressed in verbal and nonverbal ways very often in communication. Also dives into the 5 strategies for managing these conflicts, which were competing, avoiding, accommodating, compromising, and collaborating. This chapter also discusses cultural differences and how this might lead to different conflict depending on different views, different ways of thinking, or different traditions, and why it's extremely important to manage conflict in order to be effective in interpersonal communication. The next section discusses the emotions within communication, mainly primary and secondary emotions, and how they differ from each other, and how primary is more of a short, rapidly developed emotion that's similar within cultures, and secondary is more of a developed way of expressing emotion and requires kind of higher brain power and higher thinking. This topic also discusses display rules, which are cultural norms that influence emotional expression, and how you can view these within communication dialogue. And the management, just like the last slide, is and response to emotions is extremely important in interpersonal communication and developing good communication skills. The last section of this chapter discussed self-disclosure within communication, and how this is kind of the purposeful disclosure of personal information when communicating, and as well as social penetration theory, which is the intentional implementation that's kind of reciprocated within communication to develop a personal relationship between the parties. And now I'm going to give an example that took me a lot of time to kind of use the whole range of topics discussed in this chapter. The example I thought of was two people who may want to go on a vacation with each other, and how they're debating, and they have a conflict within this within this idea, and how one person might want to do one thing and the other could want to do something completely different, and how they could compromise on things that give a little bit of what both party wants. And each party could be a little disappointed with displaying their emotions, and their emotions could have a huge effect on the agreement and how they're going to continue from this. And one party might disclose a past experience of vacation that was similar to this in order to ease the tension and um, make the compromise seem more viable to both parties. And this was my way of kind of interpreting effective interpersonal communications. Thank you.